Several tons of rocks being lifted out of here on the shoulders of those man or the steam-powered mule. But picture piles of rocks like this up top on the surface. You got me?
Yeah.
These piles of rocks would be picked up top by large wagons. These wagons were pulled by teams of 20 horses, donkeys, and mules. Must have been a sight to see. Hey, you can see it on our trolley. Our trolley goes bigger, badder, faster than anyone. We also have a slideshow that shows you that picture of all the the wagons pulled by these 20 teams of horses, donkeys, and mules. We also show you a slideshow of the buildings that burned down on the outside inside, okay? Trolley, ride it, cool, pre-sale. All right, y'all, so you load up these wagons with all these rocks because they were equipped to handle all this heavy stuff, and you take them on down to the San Pedro River. You need a lot of water to process silver. Now, the San Pedro River used to flow freely at this time, but that's a whole nother tour. Anytime you drove over a bridge to get here, I'm assuming you drove over our dry riverbed. That's a whole nother tour. But imagine it with water flowing through it. Fun fact, it flows north out of Mexico when there's water in it. At this time, on the banks of it was the town of Charleston, which served as the silver processing mill. So the first step is you get to Charleston, you unload a rock about yay big, you put it through 2 steel jaws, crushing it, until it gets about this big. This is low-grade silver ore. Ooh, ah. Now the next step is you put chunks like this into large steel barrels called ball mills, where you're tumbling it around with large cast iron balls like this. Ooh, ah. So what you're doing is you're crunching these rocks up, that rock up into gravel. You take that gravel, you lay it out on a conveyor belt where it's further crushed, it's pulverized with a significant amount of pressure. So now those rocks are found powdered like dust or flour. You follow me? So you take that fine powder of the rocks, you put it into the mixing bowl, you draw on the river water, and you start to boil it with several different chemicals, one being mercury. Ah, kids, mercury is terrible for you. And these poor gents that are working at the the processing mill, were inhaling bold mercury fumes, you guys. When you took a job at the Charleston mill, your life expectancy rate dwindled down to 3 years, maybe 5 if you're lucky. When the boss man up top found out that their employees were dying at an accelerated rate, they said, let's do something about this to take care of them. Let's switch out mercury to a safer substance called cyanide. Kids, we're all hemming and hawing because cyanide's still a poison. They say it's only lethal if you ingest it. It's indigo blue in color and smells like almonds. I learned that from CSI The Crime Show. All right, y'all, so you take the fine powder of these rocks, you put it in the mixing bowl, you draw in that river water, and you start to boil it now with some cyanide and other chemicals. And what takes place, kids, is science. It's called chemistry. That fine powder morphs into a liquid. You're extracting it. It floats to the top. Liquid silver. Now that the liquid silver's up top, you're able to skim it and pour it into 180-pound molds or ingots. Why so heavy? Anti-theft device. Everyone's trying to rob from you in the Wild West, right? So a bar of gold is just out of bar, or silver is poured into a large bell shape, so it ends up looking like a big old gumdrop. We got a replica up top, I'll show you. Nonetheless, it's pretty silly trying to wall off into the desert or something like that, eh? And if you tried to steal it on your wagon, good luck, Chuck. It was so heavy on purpose, it would bust your wagon down within 2 days. But talking about wagons, here comes some bigger, better ones. The wagons that came to pick up all our beautiful silver must have been a sight to see. For these wagons could hold up to 12 tons themselves. That's a lot. You load up these wagons full of beautiful silver, and they would take the day trip to the town of Fairbanks, Arizona. Fairbanks, Arizona is no longer a day away. It's only a hop and a skip away. And I recommend it to cool people that like cool things to bust out your Palm Pilot, Fairbanks, Arizona. Well-maintained ghost town. Original railroad town before Benson was here. So when the train was there, you'd load it up with silver, and you head east, chugga-chugga-choo-choo, past El Paso, all the way to New Orleans, where all the silver is being minted, pressed into U.S. currency, coins, kids. Who knew?